building community through amplifying the voices and vision of innovative educational leaders, practitioners, and learners from South Africa.
Welcome to JGF Amplified, the leading education podcast on South Africa, and this is made possible because of your engagement. As with every episode of the podcast, we are here engaging experts, learners, and teachers who influence the education space. Before we get to today's episode, let's get into today's Did you know that Chat GPT is regarded as the fastest growing app in history, garnering over 100 million active users in 2 months, according to a UBS report using data from web and app analytics company SimilarWeb, which said over 13 million users accessed Chat GPT per day in January 2023. That said, AI, and more specifically Chat GPT, is widely debated for its threat to the integrity of education and learning. In this series, we will learn more about this perceived threat to education and how teachers can navigate AI in the classroom.
Firstly, good morning. I don't have a teaching voice, and I don't know whether everybody at the back can hear me or not. You can? Oh, fantastic. Okay. Firstly, I'm feeling very privileged to be here. I feel very humbled as well, because when I came to know from Julian as to how amazing all of you are, and you're the creme de la creme of the education system which we have, and you're becoming one, I am feeling super, super proud. So firstly, a great round of applause for all of you for being here and taking this profession and vocation as a journey for your life. I am a son of a teacher. My mom, she is 92 years old. She lives with me even today. And she was a teacher, and she used to teach the top students in the country. So the first top 10 students, like you all, were her students. So you can imagine how tough my life was as growing up as a kid, because I don't think I was the top 10 student in her category. So unfortunately, she never taught me, but she influenced me. My son-in-law also is a teacher. He is a qualified teacher from Stellenbosch University. And then he decided to teach at a public school because he's passionate to make a difference. And I feel so great that, you know what, you are all here as well, and you are here to make a difference. And the part which talks about making a difference, which is very important to me, because in Microsoft, our mission is that. Our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. So making a difference is part of our DNA. And that's the reason I am in my position. I feel blessed that I can talk about technology to all of you. More importantly, what I feel great about is that you are looking at this tech as a topic to influence, to potentially empower you, and hopefully to take your own vocation to the next level, because AI and technology is potentially one of the biggest disruptive pieces in today's world. So I'll talk about that today. As you can see, my name is Ravi Bhat. I'm born in India, but I've been South African for the last 26 years in South Africa. Where I want to go today is I want to give you maybe what we talked about, the Chat GPT, but I want to maybe broaden the discussion today. I want to talk about AI, artificial intelligence. I want to talk about what does it mean, not just for commercial banks and stuff like that, what does it mean for education? What does it mean for teachers? What does it mean for learners? You heard Julian talk about, the difference between what AI does and what's the human part of it. So we'll maybe potentially unpack some of these pieces, not too much in technical detail, but more so in practical detail. I'll unpack some of the pieces behind, some tech behind it as to what exactly it is, and therefore what does it do, why does it do what it does, so that you have a little bit more knowledge about when you get asked. Because believe me, last week, actually yesterday morning, I was talking in my all company meeting about similar topic, Not so much in Chat GPT, but similar talk about AI. And what have you seen in the market or in the newspapers is quite a lot. So let's go there. I hope this works. Okay, so as I said, Microsoft mission is about empowering every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Achieve more is a very big word. It talks about productivity, it talks about mission, it talks about passion, it talks about what you want to make a difference in lives of people in organization. And we do that. We play a massive big role in education globally because bulk of our software is actually free for education. Most of our software is free. What you see for learners right from primary education, high school to university, if you have a university ID, you can actually download the software for free. You don't need to pay for it. As you may already know, because you must be using quite a lot of that productivity software already. So if I look at our mission and then a discussion about AI, it's very, very close. One of the things which we are doing is putting this cutting edge AI technology in hands of every person. Me, you, everybody. We are trying to put it in hands of every organization so that they don't feel threatened. They don't see a tiger in it. They see something which actually augments and makes them more productive. There are lots of advancement of AI which are happening in the market. Chat GPT has just taken everything by a storm, and I will talk about that just now. But the advancement in AI has got also areas where you have to be very responsible. What you ask cannot be biased. What you ask and the answers cannot be biased. So there is a very responsible AI discussion which we have, and we want to make sure that we continue contribute it into the world at large, because equality is very important, diversity is important. Making sure everybody feels inclusive in this discussion is maybe the highest and most important. And therefore, responsible AI is an area which we are investing deeply in. I also want to make the same statement as Julian is, AI is not here to replace us. It's not here to replace human beings. And it is here to make sure that we can actually give some of those mundane tasks which we talk about, those tasks which are repetitive and which can be done, and you don't need to do them yourself. Somebody else can do them so that you can do some higher form of work, because human being is an intelligent being. So it can do much more things which a human interaction can be done. So I think so there's a lot of focus therefore available for all of us to be more creative, to be more thinking, and we can potentially therefore build future for organizations, people, countries, and the planet for tomorrow. If I go now to the hot topic of the day, which is AI technology, and what is the AI technology and what is it here? Now, you may be asked every morning, afternoon, evening when you read these newspapers saying Chat GPT is hitting the headlines, right? It is hitting the headlines, and it's taken the world by a storm. It's a completely new wave, and it is, just to that you know, it's not new technology. It is very innovative, and there's a slight twist to it because of which it becomes such a big thing. So let's maybe first ask everybody, how many of you have actually gone to Chat GPT and done something with it? Okay, quite a few, and few haven't yet experienced it. So, which is okay. And maybe let me ask you, what did you ask? Anybody wants to be bold enough to? Okay.
I asked ChatGPT two things. One, to generate questions about e-waste recycling in Ghana and Switzerland. And then secondly, to develop a rubric.
Wow, okay. And the answers, were they impressive?
So the questions were really rigorous, and I did appreciate. I needed all the questions, but I encoded some of them for the level of grade 8. And the rubric, it took a lot of coaxing, that I need a rubric with a scale from, not achieved, partially achieved, achieved. So I had to ask it quite a lot for us to get to the point where I could use the rubric.
Fantastic. So what you just heard is you need to ask it correctly, which is a process of training models. So what you just did, and when you go and ask bullets, and then can you give me this, or should it include this, it should be 60 words, it should be 500 words, all of these things, you start training the model. So that's what AI is about. AI is about actually training the models of, whether it is natural language models or any other model. So you need to train them. Now, what is Chat GPT? Obviously, if you just type it, you will tell that it's like a natural language developed AI model. It uses something called GPT-3, which is one of the pieces. It has got Gone E2, another piece, which is, and the third part is Codex, which is one of the code pieces. And these three pieces are what OpenAI actually focuses on. So Chat GPT is a product which OpenAI owns. It's not owned by Microsoft, just so that everybody knows. Because I do get actually asked saying, okay, do you guys own? Yes, we make a lot of contribution in billions of dollars, but it is predominantly a product owned by OpenAI. The best part of ChatGPT is about the fact that it uses deep learning tech algorithms to generate a human-like text. So when you saw Julian doing it, it creates that human-like text. It's not human text, it's human-like text. And therefore it does all of these things with response to your prompts. This morning before I came, I showed ChatGPT to my wife. I said, I'm going to go and chat to bright individuals about ChatGPT. She said, I said, have you experienced it? She said, no. I said, okay, let me show you what I do. So I said, write me a letter to my wife for our 30th wedding anniversary. And please write with love, thankfulness, and and parenting and all of those things. So I just put all of those things and write me, and it told me a beautiful letter, and I gave it to her. And she said, wow. She says, but it doesn't feel like it's you. That's what it is, right? It is human-like text, but it is not human. So when I speak, I can modulate my voice and I can bring the emotion out. I'm not talking against ChatGPT, don't get me wrong, I'll get fired from my work. But it is that part which is very important, that you need to be in a position to leverage it rather than use it to do your own work in basically replacing it. So one of the things which you can think about, and I think so you may know, you can make it do work on your research papers. If you're specifically stuck on a topic, you can ask for references, you can ask for information on the topic, and it will give you quite a lot of that. So it will accelerate a lot of your learning. If you're learning a new language, I have responsibilities across Africa. I don't know all the languages. I actually don't know lots of languages in South Africa as well. I'm not a linguistic guy. But if I want to learn a new language, it can help you learn a new language. It can do translations, it can do summarization, anything. One of the biggest pieces outside of education, let's say in business, is it does a lot of coding. It allows us to do coding, but it's not ChatGPT which does that. And I'll talk about broader AI a bit later. The biggest part in using it is your students and the entire education system will now feel more motivated, because taking a test can be very stressful. Lots of use cases are for teachers and students to feel more motivated, to feel more energized, to actually create a little bit of a stress-free environment as you learn. Because taking a test is stressful. Believe me, when I have to go and do certifications on technology, it is stressful. So this hopefully will take some of that pieces and it will make it a little bit more fun. So that's maybe just a couple of pieces I want to do. We've been partnering as Microsoft with OpenAI since 2019. We've have over researchers over the last 30 years who've been doing work on artificial intelligence and similar technologies. And our partnership with OpenAI has taken a new form, obviously, in the beginning of the year, where we said we will make a significant contribution. So what is our our contribution to the OpenAI. So OpenAI leverages Microsoft's tech. What tech? So we have Microsoft Cloud, which is powered by a product called Azure. And Azure is the massive supercomputers and data centers and servers which are required for AI. AI's limitation is if it does not have enough infrastructure to do these computational pieces, to do them in fraction of a second. So what you saw has got a significantly massive data centers behind it. And if I talk about one data center, just so that you have an idea of what the size is. There's a data center we have in Africa, which is in Johannesburg and Cape Town. We have one in Dublin. The Dublin data center is 2.1 kilometers long. So you walk, you can take a run, 5-kilometer run up and down. It has got 5 million servers. And last year we added 1 more million servers to that last year, just in 1 year. So you can imagine when we talk about super computational power, what does that mean? Obviously, we have to be environmentally free, so we need to make sure that it is zero emission, all of those pieces as well, because just this projector is emitting heat here, right? If you put your hand over here, can you imagine what happens when there are 6 million servers? We're not creating global warming, I just want to say, but that's the kind of technology you need to power technologies in AI, Chat GPT. We have an exclusive partnership with OpenAI, which has Chat GPT as a product. And GPT-3 models are now therefore available to Microsoft exclusively. Nobody else can get them to infuse it in our technology. And we are using it in Microsoft Office. We use it in Power Platform. We use it in our cognitive search engines called Microsoft Cognitive Engines. So it's getting in our platforms. So you can, in future, you can actually go into our search engines called the Bing search engine and do exactly what ChatGPT can do today using a search engine. So one of the things which you may know already, ChatGPT does not search URLs. So it doesn't search internet. It has to be pointed to a specific data set. And obviously you can see the data set is very big because you can ask anything. But it doesn't go and tell you yesterday's news or yesterday's weather or stuff like that. It cannot search URLs. What Microsoft is doing is it's building a Chat GPT 3.5 version just inside for Microsoft. So that when you go onto the search engine, obviously you use Google, you can use Bing, and you start typing, you can actually type a long essay and ask them. It will summarize your web page completely. It will give you what exactly you need out of that web page as an essay, or all the pointers which you need. This functionality is groundbreaking functionality. When you go on to Google, for example, or you go on to any internet browser, you don't have that functionality. When you have to go through it, well, yes, if you paid a lot of money, the first URL which you will get is the one maybe has got the most resemblance to what you need. But it does not, it makes you go through a number of pages before you actually get to the one which you really want to know about. This summarizes the entire web engine. This will change the world going forward as far as search is concerned. The good thing about ChatGPT is the simplicity of it. You saw how it did, right? The quality at which it creates this high quality text is fantastic. The graphics, the videos it can do in matter of seconds is the one which got everybody excited. Not just you and I, but it is getting even the enterprises, companies, banks, telcos, everybody getting excited. Now, very important part is ChatGPT model is still in a demo and a research stage. It's not a developed model because what you see is it's still work in progress. So it's using everything what we are typing in it to learn more about the world and the more about how humans want to use it. So it'll continue to develop. We're putting money into it so that it will continue to become better and better and better. So I want to maybe focus more on not what this talks about, but more about what is it, how AI can help you in education, right? In the field which you have chosen to be in. So let's go maybe there. So I've put 7 ways of where AI, and let's go a little bit broader than just Chat GPT, because Chat GPT has pluses, minuses, pros, cons, but AI is a bit broader, and artificial intelligence, augmented intelligence, a bit broader than I think. So that is maybe an area you should know more, because that can help you much faster. So let's go one by one. And I did this presentation day for yesterday, so it's brand spanking. Nobody has seen this thing. You're the first people who's going to see it. And hopefully, if you give me feedback, good, bad, ugly, I can go and work on it more. So I'll appreciate your feedback as well. First part is automation. Automation of administrative tasks. Now, as a teacher and a student, or as an educator, you do much more than just teaching, right? You have grading, which you need to do. You need time for that. You have to evaluate your work. You have to homeworks and stuff like that. You have to do the necessary setting of the papers, like you asked, and making progress reports, making sure that you organize your resources which are available to you, materials, lectures, pieces, managing teaching time, all of those pieces. There's a lot of work which is outside of teaching. Now, one of the biggest role AI can play is actually make the technology help you automate quite a lot of these things. So you can get a little bit higher away from the mundane tasks and get to the real crux of creative work which you need to do. Grading exams with homework, number 1. Sorting learners in social groups. Fantastic, right? Best benefit you can have, because they can adapt to each other's learning styles. Creating exams and exam keys. That's obviously doesn't sound like a mundane task. It's a very important task, but it's a task which is repetitive. Analyzing students' progress and learning, how they are learning, they're not learning, and adapt your teaching styles accordingly so that they can grow. So a great example of product in this area is a product called Microsoft Forms. You can write down the name if in case you have already used it. It can create very quickly some surveys, some polls, some quizzes, and it can be used using a laptop. It can be used using a mobile phone, and it's an app. It's an AI-engined, AI-infused app called Forms, Microsoft Forms. And it can solve problems. It can solve mathematical problems also. It can create answers. So you can use this Forms to do all of these pieces. It can suggest what the wrong answer can be in case you're doing multiple questions. So it can do some of these pieces and recommend maybe other resources as you're doing. So AI can help you build on top of these Microsoft Forms. Surveys, polls, or quizzes are very, very important pieces and tools and techniques which you use in teaching. So this is maybe a good thing. And lots of people during pandemic started using Zoom, started using Teams, which is Microsoft product. And Teams has got these forms connected in it. So if you're doing a web class for distant learners, then you can use these products in those Teams forms. One of the things which the forms can also do is give feedback to the graders, to the graduates, to the learners, and make sure that you can do that in real time. You don't have to go home and do the homework. You can actually sit while you're in the class, while you're on the Teams call, you can actually do that. So you can see it elevates the way you're teaching and the way you can teach and bring a little bit of fun in the teaching style. But that teaching style is human, but you can augment your style with these aids using AI. Let me go to the next part. Personalized learning. Now, this is very important because everybody learns differently. I learn very differently. When I did my MBA, I found out after 30 years how actually I learn. Bit late, but I found out that I learn much faster by writing rather just by reading. I read and the next morning I forget, but if I write, I learn much faster and it's longer learning for me. So there are lots of adaptive softwares which actually, and games and programs for students to do this kind of learning. But AI potentially may be one of the most significant technology in in education, which can very comfortably and smoothly transition across this learning process and personal knowledge. Power BI is one of another products, which actually is AI infused, which allows you to analyze your data, create your data sets. It can actually power through unstructured data, structured data. So you create those tables, and Power BI actually gives you all the insight. When we have infused now GPT-3 models in Power BI, which is what we call Power BI Premium product, it can do stuff. It can do stuff in organizations, in large data sets, and give you algorithms. It can give you charts. It can give you insight for you to make a decision. So in education, how do you use it, right? You can visualize the reports of individual, your classes, your groups, subjects. You can actually create proactive approach by which how will you solve a specific issue. A learner is not answering these questions, or learner is answering these questions slightly differently. You can create these graphs by which you get insight about your own learners, and therefore adapt again your teaching style and create maybe small groups of people who can actually go and do slightly differently, where you need to more stress on some certain subjects, so on and so forth. So Power BI can actually help you create this learning personalized for your students. Now, tailored education is quite important, and AI helps you tailor education for every person. We can have a room of 60, 70 people. It's impossible to give personalized attention unless you get insights from everything what you have put in your exams, questions, your behavior, everything in your class. So as you interact with your teachers, you give answers. This natural language model actually picks up those things, and you can put them in a chart. You can actually put those search queries in Power BI Premium. Can you please look at answers given by this particular student which has got X amount of scores? I will give you which are those students. So then out of a class of 90 people, you can pick up easily patterns. So that's possible. So this talks about personalized teaching. Third part is identify classroom weaknesses. And I think so I touched base on a couple of them. One of the things it can do along with the teacher, which is human, is augment the understanding of what is happening in the classroom and complement therefore their work. Very important to understand where are the weaknesses, as I said, and therefore be able to help student not miss some specific things. All of us like some subjects, and some subjects we don't like. I used to love maths. I never liked languages. I still don't like languages. So if AI was there and my teacher could know that I actually don't like it, I love maths, maybe that's the reason I'm in technology, but I don't like languages. So maybe my teacher could have actually said, okay, Ravi, this is what I can do to make you like languages, because languages are very important. You can't stand in front of teachers and students and bright people and not be able to speak. So this is maybe something which can actually help identify weaknesses in the class amongst learners, and can create new materials by which you can actually influence. Now, this is maybe one of the most important part: diversity and inclusion. Making sure everybody in a class, in a room, in a school, in a university feels that they are equal and they have equal opportunity to learn. So accessibility or enabling access is maybe one of the biggest piece machine learning AI technology has done and can do. Let me give you an educational classrooms as we see them globally are available to students, and therefore AI tools are available in those classrooms to be used. If somebody is hearing impaired, physically impaired, as far as speech, text, speech or vision, there are tools which can actually make them learn as fast, similar to the next person who does not have any disabilities. There are products which are available where visually impaired or even blind individuals can actually have words spoken to them. Text-to-speech is not new, and I think so it's one of the first pieces which we did in Microsoft when Microsoft Office was created. It uses machine learning. It uses some of these algorithms of speech, text, language translation, where it actually tells a person what the word is, and it reads the word out loud. Now, this piece of work we've been doing for the last 30 years, and therefore these cutting-edge technology are being infused in products so that you don't actually need to go and be a rocket scientist or a technologist to actually be in a position to do simple things. So making sure education is accessible to everybody is powered by AI. There is an app which is called Free Seeing AI app, which actually allows us, which takes these massive computation models and narrates a very difficult word aloud. So people who can't see, who can't read, can actually hear and therefore can actually do what they need to learn. Obviously, I'm not talking about audiobooks. I'm talking about stuff which you can read. There are, I don't know whether you're aware or have you ever seen, there are pens which are readers. So you can scan, you can read, it scans and it scans in the pen and it can read out what you scanned as well. Unfortunately, if I can't see, I can't scan. So you point it towards and it reads out the entire word or the paragraph or things to you. So these kinds of technologies are available. Very, very important is the currencies. So if you've got a 20 Rand note, which I don't, you can actually scan the note and you can actually see what is it. Is it 20? Is it 100? So that, in case you want to give money and not be treated unfairly in the world, there are technology which AI infuses. So when I talk about making sure that diversity and inclusivity is available, that access is powered by AI. And you can make the two individuals who are learners feel equal, important, and therefore get both of them as motivated to learn as anybody else. So disabilities is taken out. Now Microsoft is very big into these pieces, because of which we used AI in our products so that information is freely available to change everybody's lives. Next one is learner support. It's not just about the teachers, it is also about the learner and making sure that they have enough information, and that can be powered through AI as well. Obviously, there are lots of AI bots. You've heard about a bot, you've heard about Chat bot. Chat GPT is a chat bot. It's slightly advanced, but it's a chat bot where you can actually get students to find solution to their own problems. When they meet with teachers, with their professors, and they can ask them intelligent questions because they've done research and AI has helped them to do more research around these. So the AI chatbots can provide additional support to students. I want to talk about a specific subject, and maybe it's a sensitive subject. We had a school in Brazil where the students and the teachers built a bot called Uncle Bot. I don't know whether everybody is aware of Uncle Bot. Maybe not. That chatbot helped address bullying. It was a bot which the teachers surveyed about 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students, and they got information about the concerns from individuals and how they were experiencing stuff, and what do they do therefore if they experience bullying. Using some of the survey answers, machine learning through the products, and Microsoft Azure Cognitive Service, which is a functionality in the product, the chatbot provided students with anonymous ways to discuss problems, first of all, because nobody wants to come and put their name to it, and help solve their problems themselves. Students can access the Uncle Bot at any point in time, and via website, via URLs, or via Teams. So if they are in a Teams educational classroom. They can actually access, and this became a big success, not just in the school, but in an education system. And it helped reduce bullying issues significantly. So you can see this is also kind of a learner support which AI can give. Second last is smart content creation, information visualization, and more importantly, learner content updates. Now, AI can help teachers to do quite a lot of these smart contents, putting them together, making teaching and learning a very enjoyable, comfortable experience for the students. Bite-sized learning, maybe creating some study guides, digital textbooks, some frameworks of digital content is all infused, can be infused using AI technologies, some of those which are talked about. And whether it is simulation, whether it is visualization, whether it is website-based study material, documentation, all of these things can be used to update and upgrade content all the time. You know, every day everybody reads something in the news, they come to class and they ask the teacher, did you hear about it? Now, if the teacher themselves don't know quite a lot of these things, it becomes very difficult. So it empowers the teacher to create new content for discussion. I was super impressed with the way you actually did what you did. And this is the magic of a teacher. This is the magic of what you will go and energize every morning to the learners. And you will infuse and create more content. So it will help you to create content. You don't have to go through 50 pages or 50 books every morning to come prepared to teach. And the last one is teaching the teachers, which is all of you. Very important part is to make sure that your information is not old, your information is new, and therefore you are all the time updated. You're teaching techniques, you're teaching what you need to do with regards to planning your day. All of these pieces can be, AI can help the educators educate. There's quite a lot of, therefore, information available at fingertips, whether we talked about Chat GPT and therefore quickly find out something, or more training models where you are able to actually organize your day much better. And there is past knowledge, which is history. There is ever-changing or present pieces, which is, let's say, geography. And then there is newer future pieces, which happens on a daily basis. Those are the areas where the teachers need to be have information, at their fingertips, so that they continue to motivate and energize their learners. Okay, so long story. Let me maybe conclude as a discussion, pros and cons of technology. You know, one of the pieces which you need to make sure that you avoid is biases, which means make sure that you use the technology to augment your reality, and make sure that you use them as aids to maybe take the next step in your vocation. Second part is it adds new layers of value to what you can deliver to the learners. It increases your experience and your connection with your students. You must have seen lots of videos about, a teacher makes a life of a student. A teacher influences a student for lifetime. So most of the students remember their teachers more than anything else in their life, because they have a responsibility of making a difference. Use AI to make a difference in the world. Thank you very much.
One advantage of AI is leveraging it as a resource for content production and speeding up workflows. We asked our candidate fellows to share their views on AI and its influence in the classroom.
Hi, I'm Annalisa Hlongwane. Methodologies are English and Advanced English. So how do I think teachers can navigate the AI revolution in education? I think one of the most important things is staying informed. It's important for us as educators to stay informed and keep up to date with the latest developments in AI technology and how they're being used, especially within the confines of education. Attend conferences where we can, workshops, just join webinars, just to learn more about the latest tools and resources available. I also think that will help in terms of just allowing us to be open-minded when it comes to AI, just accepting that times are changing and the things that happen within the confines of education will change as well, the way that students learn. So after we attend webinars and so on, we can then experiment with these different AI tools and resources, and try to integrate them into our classrooms. Things like personalized learning platforms, maybe intelligent tutoring systems, just try to integrate them as best as we can within our own teaching spaces. I think another way we could navigate the AI revolution within education is we could actually embrace just collaboration. We could work with other educators to learn about their experiences with AI, and to kind of share how to best use AI within the classroom. We should definitely use it to kind of just groom our students' digital literacy skills, just so that they're able to navigate the AI tools and resources, just equip them with those skills as well. I think it's very important to just generally accept the fact that AI is taking over. And lastly, I think that we should stay flexible. We should be prepared to adapt and adjust as different forms of AI technologies are emerging, and as the field of education continues to evolve. I mean, AI is not without its challenges. It's definitely not without its challenges, especially the ethical implications of AI. That's the only negative I have concerning AI in education. But otherwise, I do believe that AI has the potential to revolutionize education by providing personalized learning experiences and kind of improving student outcomes and increasing efficiency. I think as well as with the help of AI tools, we as educators can kind of gain insight into students' learning patterns and identify areas of improvement and kind of tailor instruction to meet individual needs. I also do believe that AI at some point can help students learn at their own pace and style and provide them with instant feedback and support. Yeah, that's it.
AI, in my personal opinion, is a great equalizer. It's a great equalizer in the sense that most people don't have the physical talent to do certain things, but they have the critical thinking and the creativity to imagine and think these great things, but not be able to manifest them into physical reality without commissioning an artist. And even then, there's a broken communication. You may not get the painting that you have envisioned in your mind. You may commission a writer to write you a poem for your wife, but you may not get it the way that you envision it in your mind. You may want to start a business, printing t-shirts, but to get the logo to look the way you want, maybe you may not be able to do that. And that is the future of AI, where we can negotiate and talk to this trusted partner that is artificial intelligence and say, I would like to conjure up something like this, like that. And being the genie that it is, the artificial intelligence will create it for you. I know that to most people, AI is a threat. People look at it as it's going to replace many jobs. It's going to make people's jobs redundant. But the way I see it, it's there to amplify and take human beings to the next chapter. there have been many tools where we come from in the past, in our many thousands of years as Homo sapiens, that we have developed that have replaced previous works. They've put together, like the invention of the wheel, they've put the efficiency. Now you can do things quicker. Maybe instead of being replaced as a human being, your job might change. I believe that teachers will not be replaced by artificial intelligence, and teaching will not be changed by artificial intelligence. Instead, we need to think about what human beings of the future will exist and what teaching needs to do today to prepare those human beings for the future. And digital literacy is a big one. You cannot stop at the artificial intelligence revolution, and you cannot stop your students, your children, even adults from learning, because they need these skills for the future. One could say maybe it will make it easier for them, but there's nothing wrong with being more efficient. It won't necessarily be easier in the sense that we are talking about, but it will be more efficient. Human beings, the more we develop, we are being led to a state where human beings are more in the creative space and problem-solving space and critical thinking space, because AI can, yes, follow instruction and make a painting or make a picture, but it needs the instructions of the human and the inputs from the human. So the humans will be the creators, and the students of today need to be digitally literate, so that they can use AI as a tool in the future to create these many things that they might need. So I believe that AI is a good thing for education, and as much as most people are worried about what AI means for teaching and what it might mean for teachers, I think that teachers should be open-minded to what AI can do for learners, for teachers, because learning as well as a teacher will be quicker. You as a teacher will always be learning. You have a friend in AI. Sometimes you may not find people to collaborate. It's not going to replace the physical need to collaborate, but some people are busy living their own lives, so you may not always find people to collaborate with. So you can always collaborate with AI. Speak about the theories you've learned in your training as a teacher, get different opinions, and then be a better teacher. AI can help you be a better teacher. AI can assist you in many ways. You can ask it anything. So I think that instead of being negative, it's all about the approach. So if we approach AI and look at it as a negative thing, then we won't fully unlock it. The sooner we get better at prompting AI, the better we can use it as a tool. And instead of asking simple questions that can easily be answered by AI, if that's the main concern in education, we need to start grading students in a different way so that we can see who can either use AI to get critical answers and proper answers, because the skill now will not just be, can you remember what happened in history 100 years ago, but can you critically analyze it? And that will have a lot to do with the question. So students can be given credit for the questions they ask, because the questions they ask AI, I'm using Chat GPT now as an example, will reflect the answers that they get. So they need to be given credit for asking the right questions. So yes, we need to ourselves be equipped with AI to be able to see quality of work that has been simply generated in AI without prompting that is the standard we require, or we will see that if we ourselves embrace AI so that learners can use AI, and we will get them to another level where they get better answers and they can keep asking different questions so that they can get the proper answers. Thank you. That's my feelings.
Hi. My name is Pumlantla Po, and I am doing my fourth year, postgraduate year, and I'm doing a PGCE in English First Additional Language and Life Orientation for FET phase. I'm on year D, as I've mentioned. So to answer the question number one is how can teachers navigate the AI revolution in education? My belief is that the current AI revolution is actually what you might call a blessing in disguise, as such, as it's evolving. It's gonna and it's already well, it has already started evolving the education space and the learning space. So how we as educators, how we can best navigate this phenomenon is by merging with it and um, tapping into its potentials in the sense that we would then use it to enhance our teaching experience, and then in the process it would also allow us to guide the learners to use AI as a tool to enhance their learning and also assist them into exploiting and expanding and tapping into their potentials as well. It is, for me, um, I'd say an interest point for me. Like it's a passion for me because I believe I'm a big fan of digital pedagogy and using new age tools and methods to impart knowledge, and keep on um keep on expanding, the teaching profession and would say transforming it from what it has always been. Because believe it or not much has changed, for the past at least, well, for a good maybe 500 years in the classroom. It's always been a teacher and a learner or student, and one, being the one who carries the knowledge and the one being the other who's the recipient of that knowledge. So what AI does then allows us, it disrupts that whole entire relationship. And I think it's a good disruption as long as the parties, learners and educators, can then understand or maximize on the 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 miracle of AI, of the AI revolution. Yeah. So personally, we can navigate it by allowing it to change how we work as educators, and therefore it will eventually, change how it has already with Chat GPT, going on. It will change how learners learn, and that can only mean nothing but an exciting future for young people. And question two says, what are my personal thoughts and feelings about AI in education? As I've stated, it's for me, it's a much needed disruption. It's a much needed innovative step, and it's a necessary, inevitable development. At some point, education has to transform, and what better tool than the AI revolution itself. Yeah. So I know there's a lot of discussions and debates out there about the dangers of AI, and but I believe just like any other thing in the world, if we are to um, address or interact with AI with the right intentions, and these are the intentions that we as educators embody, the values of imparting knowledge, building society, building communities, and of course, inspiring young minds and, you know, making a positive, lasting impact on young minds. So I believe then if we're to deal with AI or engage with AI in a positive manner and by setting clear intentions and letting those intentions and those morals and ethics that have been the basis of education itself, the fraternity, then I see no problem with that. However, of course, there are, you know downsides and factors to be considered, such as, will AI then become, render us educators obsolete? That's also a possible factor, but to this I respond by saying, if as an educator you are passionate and you are intentional about your role and your what would I say, your role and your function, then AI can only serve to just make you all the more better, all the more effective, and more innovative. Yes. Thank you so much.
This episode was generated with the help of an AI voice cloning tool. To continue this conversation with us, use the hashtag #NavigatingAI and engage us on social media. It is at JG Fellowship on Twitter. Thank you for listening.